What's going on, guys? So today on this SHOKY Transformers review, we're going to be taking a look at one of the biggest things that I've ever gotten, and it is the new Transformers War for Cybertron Earthrise Scorponok. I like how they just kind of Scorponok right there. And this box is huge. Obviously, I'm on my table, just like we did with Omega Supreme. This box art is ridiculous. So I'll do a little pan over here. So you can see it's got Scorponok on the side. You see grabbing Optimus right there, just a little bit brutal if we're honest. And we'll come a bit to the middle here. Really, really nice artwork. Got all kinds of stuff going on back here. Actually, this is Optimus' gun back there. That's cool. Obviously, they're in space somewhere, but you also see in the other bottom corner down here is the Ark. So they're fighting as they're trying to leave. We got Bumblebee, and I can't quite tell who that is. A little bit difficult, but you got Takara Tomy, Generations, Hasbro, ages 8+ on the side there. Oh, we have Mr. Double Dealer up there. That's cool. And if you notice this beam attack coming from here, you get what appears to be a Megatron shooting over there. And you got Titan down here. You got Titan Class A Titan, Titan Clace Titan. Come around to the back, and you have, of course, all the things. Sorry, I have to do this at full extension, and I just ate lunch. So we have Scorponok here in the bot mode, and 13 easy steps. I guess you get to head, and then you get 2 more steps, you get to other head. You got 33 some odd steps to get to Scorpion mode, which little guy can go in there, and then even 39 more steps to get to the base mode. And of course, you know, they advertise that you can do interconnectivity here, and if you have more Micromasters, which I guess I do, but I'm not going to use this for that, but there you go. And I guess if you do this side, you get the Earthrise artwork. Top just says Cybertron, bottom says nothing. Now my patrons got to see an out-the-box review for this already, but inside the box you do have your instructions. I did fold them over one extra time. I'm going to need these because I'm probably going to forget one thing or two. He's not super hard, but going from one mode to the next gets a little confusing. But there's your instructions. You do get some, as Imgo puts it, bluish parts. And these are the same ones you get with Jetfire, just less of them. But they're the more epic type that actually don't look bad. Like, you know, the fire and smoky ones. Also ignore my whole backdrop going on back there. So that's pretty cool. And you do get an insert with all the secret hidden codes and all that garbage. And I'll show this off just because it's here. Obviously, this is Unicron, because you can even see the horns happening there. But you see there, totally says Unicron. It's got even more stuff down here. You got Cybertronian, and it says Space Bridge. That says Ark. It says Nemesis, Quintesson, and Fool's Fortune. So that's pretty interesting. I know there's a lot more lore involved there, but part of me wonders if a lot of these things will come up later. And if I remember correctly, on one of the earliest things I looked at, it said Antilla. And I found out this weekend, due to Chris McFeely's video, Antilla is where one of the major outbreaks of cosmic rust came from. So let's get the big boy out here, and because all my light is coming from this side, I'm going to try to work from over here to do things. I'm going to film as best I can. It's super hard to film these giant bots. And there we go. There's his crotch, for lack of a better thing. So here we go. And it does look really good. Sorry, it's all just super exposed from one side here. Let me move my chair here. See how that looks. Yeah, it's okay without all the lights. I don't know. Yeah, it'll be okay. Alright, so I'm going to get some close-up looks here. So we're going to go handy cam. And we get this new fantastic head sculpt here for Scorpy Boy. And out of all of the Earthrise / Siege figures I've gotten, this guy has the most paint and a ton of detail. So you got some yellow paint over here, mostly green, just body, which is fine. Got orange paint, gunmetal paint, more orange paint. This area here is actually with a little bit of silver. It's hard to tell if it's just plastic or not. Then we got orange paint, metallic blue paint, silver paint, tampoed. Decepticon logo looks fantastic. Gunmetal here, more gunmetal on these inserts, which looks fantastic. Silverish gunmetal with some nice teal. More gunmetal paint all down here, more teal, more orange, except this is molded plastic. Yeah, he looks really good. And I guess I need some of the extra light so I can see some of these details. Like under the arm here, you do have some thrusters molded in. Yes, I'm in the shadow, I don't care. Stuff like that. Looks pretty good. And if we spin them around, you can see the very awkward and super hollow backpack. Look, they had to save money somewhere, okay? This guy was still like $160, $170. It is what it is. Ugh. I gotta be careful, I don't want to accidentally snap something off. So let's go back to the tripod. Okay, so for articulation, he's pretty articulate for a big boy. The head rotates, but it's all down here at the base of the neck. You have this collar piece back here that comes loose. Super easy. The head doesn't peg in, so to speak, as it slots in. It's kind of a friction fit right here, almost like the same way the Headmasters or Titan Masters do. It does have a tilt, up and down. The earpieces here sort of move. Those are painted orange as well. There's some red paint. We'll look at that a bit closer later. For shoulders, as you can see, you can go out that far. You can go out to at least 90 that way. They do rotate all the way around. Although you got to be careful because things are mounted on an angle in some places. Backpack does knock loose every now and then. These cannons do move. They do come off. They are super hollow. It's one thing I dislike. You got rotation at the elbow, and you have a decent ratchet for the elbow. The claws open individually here and there, and then you can rotate it like that. Then also you get a big ratchet for the claws there. Though the way it is constructed, you have no forearm rotation, so it does get a little awkward later when you try to pose him. He does have waist rotation due to transformation and others. You can't go all the way around, but you know, you get the gist of it, right? For the legs, it's pretty much just whatever you want to do. The ratchets come all the way out. You can kick all the way forward and back. You get thigh rotation, really nice ratchets. Hefty double knee joint there, so you can do a nice walking pose if you're down for such a thing. It's a pain. You gotta be careful with these flaps back here. Occasionally they'll get pushed out and those will hit there. If you want, you can put them in a pretty easy A stance using the first couple of ratchets on the feet, which you can't see. But he does have ankle tilt, really significant enough, and the toes can go in and out. When you get them out of the box, the toes will be hidden. And if you were to utilize, say, this, you could knock that off. I have a problem with that door. It does fall off quite a lot. You could technically get toe point, though you're going to ridiculously break the sculpt. So, coming back up here, you don't really get any weapons with him except for the arm cannons. But you do get his very G1-esque shield, or it's a beetle binder. Beetle binders! Beetleborgs! Transform! Whatever. So it does have these purple claw bits that go chompy chompy. They are mounted in very crappily with these little things. You do get some nice metallic teal paint there. Orange paint, that's okay. Looks like a face. And then these parts are removable. You know, to see better parts forming, but this is to make a much bigger shield. Really nicely done silver paint here. Otherwise, you usually have these mounted on the lower legs. And that mounts to the forearm via any number of these posts. If you're going with only the shield part, you would mount it right here. If you're going with the upper parts, you use these two inner holes with these two posts here. And oops, it will give you a decent thing. Also, there's two in the middle there that also help hold it on. So you get this very neat shield situation. Come on, buddy. Gotta get feet evened out realistically. And otherwise, you can take this off, clip that together, come to the back. You've got two holes right there, and you can just store that. And if you want to, you can just pull those apart. You know, they're slightly different on either side. You can just mount it down here on these four posts like so. Spin them around. Do the same thing on this side. And boom, there you go. You got Scorpy Boy good and in robot mode. So, if you need some type of comparison, well, there's Wally. Wally is not even quite the size of his head. You know, if you really want to see size-wise, there he is, down there, between his feet. Alright, and there he is next to his fellow Titan member, Omega. You can see he's definitely taller, not just at the gun, but you know. But that makes sense. Omega was always a smaller thing. He was never really a city bot, he's a base bot. That's supposed to be a city. Yeah, I don't have Metroplex, I don't have Fort Max, but they are taller than him. And then Trypticon is shorter than him. So, Trypticon seems to have gotten the short end of the stick, so to speak. But one thing I wanted to do while I'm here, because I had a much crappier effect part in Omega, so I'm going to put that in his thing. Now, Omega has been a part of the display back there for quite some time, and so he's going to remain there. This boy is going to go over there, so that'll be kind of how we end the video. But for now, I'm going to get Omega out of my way. He might make a reappearance in a minute. Plus, just having to do this is going to suck. Now, because of how I'm going to be utilizing Mr. Scorponok here, here is Megatron from New Age. Yeah. So he's going to be a part of my other like Decepticon display that's going on over there instead of this. So I'm going to be using him in that manner. Now, is that really to scale? Not really, but that's how I'm choosing to use it with my Legends class, not my other ones. Now, I don't believe this scales much to Earthrise, you know, in the same way that Omega really didn't. So I have to fight my way over there. Here he is with just, you know, Voyager, Megs, and next to leader class, Jetfire, not leader, commander class. And then there he is with, you know, or DX9 Prime. Alright, so real quick, we'll go over his Headmaster Form. So this would be, you know, his normal head. Obviously, in kind of Scorpion mode, it'll look like this. He does have nice red painted eyes. That's hard to say. So we need to get him into his Lord Zarek mode. So we want to grab up here at the top of the head, just kind of pop this purple piece loose there, and then we can shift this faceplate up. So we got this part here, but here's something that's neat. Up under the visor, they actually gave him some cool painted mechanical eyes. That's pretty neat. So we just kind of want to drop this back. We're not done with it. It's just going to stay right there. We're going to pull off the ears, which just peg in. Just, you know, no big deal there. I'm going to come up here to this, like, tan kind of teal piece here. Pop that loose. And that'll be the legs. Just kind of unfurl them. and unpeg them from each other. And now we need to get the arms kind of all split apart and stuff. This is a very interesting transformation, at least in my mind. I'll move the camera ever so slightly here so I can see what's going on. So we need to break this loose. It's not really pegged in that hard, but it's got, where does it tab in? Okay, so it tabs in here and there. Okay, so using the hinge, you just swing the arms up, grab the other side, pop it loose like that, swing the arm down, swing the fist out, and this purple piece swings down. Actually, you can just go ahead and do that ahead of time. So it does really kind of make him a very large headmaster, which is interesting. And you fold the chest down there. And then as this goes, well, there's not a lot happening here. Oh yeah, it's supposed to close down like that. So backpack and all that just becomes like that. Now the earpieces, while these are actually molded in orange, they're also painted orange. You can tab them back here for weapon storage, or weapon storage, or detail storage, however you want to look at it. He can also technically use these as weapons. I don't know if he's meant to, but he can. Those are 5mm ports, and he can hold them. So here is your nice Headmaster Lord Zarek, and you know he's got decent rotation of the arms there. That can go up and down. Yeah, I knocked that off. I don't care. Double jointed elbow for transformation purposes. No wrist articulation. Can't rotate at the waist. Can do Jean-Claude. Can do thigh rotation. Single jointed knee that can go both ways, which is always fun. And some actual severe ankle rocker. One thing that the Siege / Earthrise line has been great for is ankle rockers. Just being honest. So we tuck all that back in, like so. And then because this guy's a double headmaster, because he's got to be like Fort Max, yoink that off. And yes, we are still doing the headmaster gimmick like 6 years later. So there's his head sculpt. Looks really interesting, nicely painted. Red eyes, silver face. And then basically like you do with every headmaster, you just unfold the guy like so. Got tiny ball joint mounted arms, a little screw in the belly button. The head is actually on a tiny ball joint. It does also have a painted visor there, and then all this. Now I think, I could be wrong, but back when that Titan Master Headmaster series was out for, you know, well, basically all that Prime Morse thing, I do believe that they had a Lord Zarek head. Now I don't know if it would fit on this one entirely. Like this is it's definitely the right size, but it definitely doesn't feel like the same thing. Now, because we're going to need this head anyways, by the way, the head does rotate ever so slightly, but that's why you also don't need it for the big robot. So let's get him back into, wow, that went flying. That's not the first time that's happened, by the way. I did that last night and had to find it because it went flying. Okay, so we're just going to transform him back. You do have a couple posts right there that flips up into there, like so. Push these purple pieces up. Those are just basically gap fillers. Flip this up. Use it just a little higher extension. Cram this guy down. Move this out so it's not in the way. Now, one thing I found is that usually you can't get everybody tabbed in 100% until the whole thing is sort of set in. So fold backwards on the knees, and you do have two holes here that associate two posts up there. Basically just making them into a cube, and then you tab everybody together, grab this whole section, flip it up, put the visor in place, and you got a little tab there that will peg into what I think was the crotch, I think. And then there's your head. Grab all that like that. And he does have a couple of small spots like right there that sort of hinder the movement, which is good. And then we grab this and then just do that, and now we've got the head going again. And then kind of how we already saw, if you want to insert the head, you need to push the backside under the collar and then just push down, and it's just an okay fit there. And like I said, you can tilt. I wish the mouth would open though. This collar will pop off. Don't worry about it. It's going to pop off. It's going to be the bane of your life. Don't worry about it. So now we need to get them ready for transformation. Let's pull off everything that's unnecessary. We don't need guns. Pull off the pieces we put down here on the sides of the legs, because all of that's going into new places later. Okay. Come on to the back. Go ahead and pop the shield off. And so we have all the parts ready to go. So we grab them, flip them around, kind of straighten out the legs. We don't want those wonky. Want the arms rotated up, and you can see how they're mounted on a angle here. I don't even know if you can see everything that's happening. Okay, so because we're going to do this from top to bottom as we go, and then you just basically want to straighten these out about as good as you can, visually. We're going to rotate the head 180 degrees, like so. Then we're going to rotate the torso 180 degrees, also like so. Ow. It's not that difficult. It's just hard to do this in the position I'm in. So we want to grab the backpack, which tabs in here, here, and this is just sort of a support thing, but that tab will be important later. And then we also want to extend it all the way down. Now, this upper piece you have to attach out of the box. If you watch my out the box review from my patrons, you'll see that. And now you get to see his rib cage, which is creepy. So we want to grab the legs, pull them out. I'm not going to really do anything with them yet. We're just going to get them out of the way. Also, I would say that the scorpion legs are the weakest part of this whole thing. So we need to reach in here, and there's this flap right under there. You can just sort of grab that and pull it down. You can pull it all the way through, but usually I think it's just supposed to stop right there. Trying to be careful to make sure it doesn't fall, because it's at a really awkward angle now. Okay, so now we need to lay the big man down. So, oops, don't want to do that just yet. Come on, buddy. So this is where things get awkward. And I liken this to some degree to kind of changing a diaper. You'll see what I mean as we get there. So I want to flip these down flat. You want to pick up the legs just a little bit. They're nothing crazy. Just get them off angle. Kind of like that. And then we want to come down here, open these up like that. Just let them sit. And then we want to grab the feet, tuck them in like so. This is where you also want to push away the toes like so. Stay. Okay, so now we need this to just flop down there. And we're going to basically fold this over on itself. And then we're going to have some pegs and things like that. So you can do one leg at a time, or you can do both legs. You want to utilize everything to basically just fold that up into a backpack. And then these purple flaps here will tab in down here. I can't show it. So there's a couple posts down there that you just need to line up, and that will solidify the backpack, so to speak. Come on. There we go. And we're almost there. We're making progress, guys. Okay, so now get the scorpion feet flat. We got to mess with this section that will become his tail. So there's a couple of tabs here that will plug into the top of the knees, so to speak, right there, or thighs, I guess. It's not that difficult, but we also want to flip that down so we have access to things. It's hard to see, but this double hinge inside here also needs to go up 90 degrees so that we can tab that together effectively. That one, that's two. Okay. So then we want to come up under here. If you can see. Yeah, you can see. So come up under here, and we flip this bit out. We flip that part out, and there we have the scorpion tail. And you can just sort of do whatever you want to do with that. And from there, you're going to take the shield, come up under here, plug it back into those same holes that it's stored in on its normal backpack mode. Come around here and take these guys, and you want to plug them in, I think here is what it was saying. Kind of hard to tell. Maybe it's here. Hold on, let me double check. But it's here. Okay. So you got a post there, you got 2 holes there. Just line it up, make it happen. And I normally do it with the side that, you know, pivots down like that. Then we do the same thing. Oops. On this side. Sort of line her up best you can. And then you got the twin cannons. These you can do whatever you want. They tell you to put them like either here on the orange bit or here on the claw. You can sort of do whatever you want. You can leave them back here on the shoulder where you did. Personally, I like them back here on the backpack because I feel like it's more of a thing, you know? So yeah, here we go. Scorpion mode. Now, the one thing that does suck, like I said, is these legs. So you can bend them up. You can do kind of what you want to do, but essentially you just end up with that. Now, it's 2 pairs of 2 on each side. So you got one set here, and then each one articulates below the knee, and then each claw can move. Now, they only really have a purpose that I can see in base mode, but you know, that's kind of the weakest thing. Like, you really wouldn't believe that these legs are capable of moving this giant robot-based person around. At least I don't buy it. But for the most part, he looks cool as a scorpion. I mean, it is what he is, so to speak. And you know, the claws can still do the thing, but this is where the limitations of the actual bot mode kind of hurt it, because the rotation joint is here. And yeah, you can make use of the claws in different ways, like this, to kind of get him to attack things, I guess. I mean, that's fine and dandy. And then, like I mentioned before, you do get the red eyes on the head. You can play with these however you like, kind of tilting them up a little bit. I think that actually makes a little sense. And then there's one other thing you can do from here. You can pull that off, remove the Headmaster, try to plug that back in effectively, and then you can come to the backpack here, and then inside there, which I don't know if I can show, zoom in the future me, take your little Headmaster, unfold him, and there's a little spot that you can put him in, and he will be piloting the main Scorpion. So that's pretty damn cool, if I'm honest. And then, of course, if you want Lord Wally to be involved, there you go. There's Lord Wallyson. And then if you've got some bluish powers here, you can use them, which is pretty cool. These are the ones actually from Jetfire. So, and that one's always been loose. I can't do anything about it. So you can actually have him bluishing. You couldn't see that, I apologize. So there we go. That's pretty neat. Whew. And by the way, my back is hurting now. And then the scorpion tail, you can sort of just do whatever. Also, it can bluish, such as this. So that's pretty cool. I do wish they had done a little bit more here. I think this is kind of weak, personally. But I still like it. I just don't think it's as good as it should be. And I'm sure most of you will agree with me. And if you don't, well, you're fired. Okay, so the problem is that hole is too small. Okay, so pull all that off. Now we got to go into the more complicated mode. Okay, so going into base mode, take the cannons off, like so. I'm going to go ahead and remove our little guy. Close that back up, like that. Get Wally out of there. Pull the head off. Make sure this is tabbed back in. And then we're going to straighten and flatten out the legs. I don't know why, it's just something you do. Oh yeah, don't forget to remove the thing and these side panels because we're going to need those later. So we just have a mess of parts. Then we need to fold away the scorpion tail. Basically, just get rid of it because we ain't going to need that no more. And we can even flip this part forward because all that's just going to come loose now. Okay, so now we untab the side panels on the legs. Then we want to come straight up like that. Splay the legs like that, which is creepy, let's just be honest. You flip these two center panels up to meet in the middle like that because you're just going to need clearance for the wonky stuff that's about to happen. And you want to rotate at the thigh joint, not the hip joint. You want to rotate here. Bring that down. I believe that's how it's going to go. Nope, I was wrong. I was wrong. You do want to rotate at the hips because you want to end up dropping them down temporarily like that. Then rotate the hips up. Yeah, it just keeps going. Then we want to straighten that out like so. Okay, hold on. I gotta make sure that's at the right angle. Is that the way it goes? I think so. So I think that's now holding itself up. That's what it's supposed to do. Then you want to take these parts, flip them down, come in here on the top of the foot. This part's not easy because these are really tabbed in. And flip out your ramps. Flip this up and around and down. And flip out your ramps. And then we're going to take the now crotch flap. It's got this big honking tab that's going to go right into that hole. Like so. And now we got that section done. This is not easy, mind you. Okay. We're going to make those flat again. And we've got that done. And then, let's see, how do we do the arms? Okay, so turn the arms up vertical. Vertical. Straighten them out. I believe you want to bring them forward and rotate these like that. You have to feel it more than anything. So you want to rotate that up, get it straight up and straight forward like that with your claws. Go ahead and fix your claws if you haven't done it yet at this point. Just kind of, actually go ahead and extend the fingers. I think that's part of the look. Okay, so next thing, I don't know what all you guys can see now. Okay. There we go. So, take a cannon, take one of the side pieces, plug them in together. Now you've got all your holes. You've got spots here on the arms. And you basically turn them into like a tower, which is pretty cool. I may have plugged that in the wrong spot. Hold on. Plug in there, plug in there. Yeah, I think I missed. Hold on. Yeah, I did. I put that up way too high. There we go. This spot. So they make sure that you have things plugged in at least 4 spots when you're doing stuff. So that's pretty good. And then last but not least, you want to come up here, flip up that part, and I think we're almost done. You come down to the shield. It's got those 2 plugs on the back. Plug it in right there. And boom. That's it. Holy crap. Alright, so let's take a closer look. So going full handheld here. Come in, we start at the claw towers. Go to the giant warship face of Scorpion. It's pretty cool. So you can either have that out or up, however you want. You know, you can just play with that. It don't matter. It's pretty cool. Like, you see the details. That's where the piloting seat was. We got all this nice stuff going on, and something we could not see before is this nice little roadway happening here. You know, the arrow with the ramp coming down, and then windows, or whatever the heck this is technically supposed to be. It's just they needed somewhere for that panel to go. But he's pretty cool as a base. I mean, still got this nice ramp. Also, now you can see this really beautiful paint job here with the silver, gunmetal, and teal color happening. I digs it. It's a pretty big base, but as you can tell, you know, this table is like 44 inches wide, something like that. This thing is nearly that big. Now, it would have fit on my set, which is obviously a mess, but it would not have had work or room to actually work to do things. And, you know, we got to have Wally on the base. So you can see Mr. Wally Meister there. So that's pretty cool. And then if you have your tiny Headmaster man, there's 2 tiny posts right there so that he can chill out right there. That's pretty cool. Now, another thing you can do, you can come up here and lift this cover. Now, this is meant to, in fact, just snug up to that and just look neat. But you can take your head and just cram it down the hole like so. But that's not the only thing you can do with this. There's a kind of fan mode that also works really well. I'll show that off now. And if you basically just transform him back to bot mode ever so slightly, you get a torture pit. And those are basically be like grinders or whatever. So you can take your little guys and toss them in there and let them go to the grind. No, I am your headmaster. So that's the thing you can definitely do. Alright guys, so this is not easy. Moving around this much weight. He is big, he is heavy. He's definitely a thing. It's really good. And, you know, I really liked Omega, but in comparison, the paintwork on this, the molding, the engineering is really nice. Nothing really is that stupid, except for maybe some of the hollowness is about the dumbest part of it. I think that, you know, they did save money where they had to, like inside the claws, inside the tail, stuff like that. But there's a ton of playability with this guy. And the fact I've never had a Scorponok before, this is awesome. Oh, I did forget to flip his toesies down. By the way, guys, I did do a video transforming him back to bot mode over on the secondary channel. Go watch that if you didn't yet. Yeah, that makes him a bit more stable. And, like, he's just good. I mean, let me move him back here in the light. There we go. Now he looks really pretty. So, that's awesome. I did not compare him to Devastator because Devastator is too hard to get out of there. But either way, it's really good. So if you like this video, give me a big old thumbs up. Hit that subscribe-ish button. Go check out the rest of my Transformers reviews, period. There's a lot of them, whether it's third party or other. Go watch the Omega Supreme video. Hopefully I link it. I don't know if I did. It's always in the future. Always in the future. Oh, let me fix his claws. Now, the only thing I wish is that he came with at least like his big gun. And he doesn't have that. Now, I do know that there's another person coming that turns into like his scepter weapon, sort of. I don't care. I feel like that should have come with him. If it's something meant for him, it should come with him. That's the way I feel. And if they didn't think it should, then I don't need it. Now, he is a bit either forward heavy or back heavy, depending on how you have it. But as you can see, you can get him in a pretty dynamic stance using the toes, using their different articulation. And the only thing that sucks is the awkward rotation of the arms. So shoulders are mounted diagonally. The arms can't rotate at the wrist, they rotate at the elbow. And so it makes it a little bit weird when you're trying to pose it. But you can still get some good stuff. In fact, we'll have a decent thumbnail here. But that's it, guys. I'll catch you next time, and remember, as always, to keep on nerding.